Hi fantasy managers, welcome to FPL Team Talk. So in this video I've put together for you a wildcard team for game week 31. We've got 2 weeks now international break and we know those fixtures for game week 33. We know the doubles and the blanks, 31 and 32 as well. So for those of you who are interested in wildcarding, this could be a really good opportunity to get onto those doubles. We'll have a look in this video at the pros and cons, whether you should wildcard, perhaps if you want to hold on to it, look at the longer term strategy if you have free hit chips, all of those good things. This will be, I think, my first draft for the wildcard. With 2 weeks ahead, things will change, international fixtures, injuries will be picked up, all those sort of things. So make sure you subscribe to get the latest content. We'll look at team selections, watch lists. Even if you're not wildcarding, this could be a useful video for you to watch and players to target who have got those good fixtures coming up. So without further ado, let's get into it. On screen we have the fixtures for game week 31 then. As we know, there's a double in game week 31. It might not be the most appealing, but Burnley and Everton will play each other on the 6th of April on Wednesday, so they will both have 2 games. There's a possibility of more doubles between now and 33, but we know those fixtures for game week 33 in the FA Cup has been and gone for the quarterfinals, so we know who's going to be blank and we know who's going to double. So reasons for wildcard, clearly obvious. We can hit those double game week fixtures for 31 and 33 pretty hard, maximising those points. We also know that Villa, Leeds and Wolves going to blank, so we know that those are teams we could be avoiding. I definitely think if you're intending to wildcard now, you can arrange your side to hit those double game week fixtures well and hard, and then avoid having to free hit in 33. Now, if you have 2 free hits, it's possible that you want a wildcard with a slightly different side than I'm going to show you now, and we can come on to that in another video, whereby you'll be hitting more differentials, free hit in 33, and then perhaps later on in 36, and then just look at the teams and fixtures that are sort of really attractive for 32 and 34. But this video really assumes that you're going to be wildcarding through at least till 33, possibly free hitting in 36. But there's lots of still unknowns that we are waiting for in terms of fixtures over the next week before game week 31 begins, and it's possible we'll get lots of information between now and then. 2 teams we know double in 31, 10 teams double in game week 33, so one of the biggest of the season. The wildcard that we put together have 4 double game week players for 31, we have 9 double game week players for 33, so let's have a look. Now this is not set in stone. I've got Schmeichel and I've got Pope. Looking at the fixtures, I mean, Pope's just going to double in 31, he's going to double in 33. He just has to come in. I think his fixture for 32 is quite nice, and 34 isn't the worst. So longer term, I just think, well, short term, I think Pope's good. Longer term, Schmeichel could have lots of doubles coming up. They've got so many games to rearrange. I don't want to use a transfer later on for a goalkeeper. Schmeichel's already there. I quite like to have him. As you can see with the budget of this team, you can afford to have that extra sort of good playing goalkeeper. I'm not set in stone, that is a conversation I'm prepared to have, whether you just have a backup weaker playing goalkeeper like a Forster or a Foster, someone like that. But for me, I think if I can afford it, I just sort of like those two being able to rotate, especially when we know more about Schmeichel's fixtures. But remember, this wildcard is just very much a draft at the moment. I think at the end of 2 weeks, we'll get more information about international players, who's been injured, fixtures, what's going on with that. And I think then it will be a clearer picture as to who and which players to target. For now, this is it. I quite like it. Let's have a look. In terms of their goals and points, actually Schmeichel, even though he's kept clean sheets, goals conceded, the way it pans out, he has just got more points per 90 than Pope. Pope's missed a few games though as well earlier on the season, but Pope's the one for me in the short term. Tierney then, he has a double game week in 33. Fixture's quite difficult away at Palace in 31, but 32 is quite nice. Big game against Manchester United in 34, but Arsenal just playing so well. He seems to be nailed on, Tierney. Noted that when, who was it? Someone went off the other day, Lacazette, and the armband went straight to Tierney. So that sort of shows you how much esteem he's now sort of got in that dressing room. Reguilon, I have to keep an eye on Session. That's the only concern I have. There's other cheaper Tottenham defenders to go on that have good fixtures. Newcastle, Brentford, and they seem to have hit a little bit of form. He's not really had the attacking returns that you would like or threaten to have when he came from Real Madrid, but we'll have a look at his figures in a minute. Rudiger nailed on, even though he's protractedly gone and signed a contract with Juventus for next year. I can't see how that's going to affect his position in this side. Tuchel, there's no one else he can really rely on in terms of playing as often, I don't think. Christensen seems to be in and out, getting injuries as well. He's a sort of senior statesman alongside Sylvie, you'd say, in the heart of that Chelsea defence. But interestingly, when they had a double recently, he did have a rest in one of those games. But look at those fixtures. Chelsea's fixtures just look so good between now and the end of the season. That double away at Leeds, Arsenal might be quite tricky. Brentford at home, Southampton at home, 31 and 32. He's absolutely certain nailed in your side. Cancelo, even though they don't double, they have some tricky fixture at home to Liverpool. But you've got Burnley away, Brighton and Watford. They look great fixtures for me. Cancelo just has to come in, even at a price. And Robertson, again, Liverpool's defence so good. Without Trent there, he just becomes that next man to go to. I really like him. In terms of attacking returns, Tierney just doesn't seem to have offered as much as you would hope. Reguilón does seem to have a little bit more attacking returns there. Rudiger offers a little bit in terms of set pieces. Cancelo's obviously the one that cashes in, and then top of the pole comes Robertson. When you take Trent Chilwell, who's been out for a while now, and Reece James, it comes down to Robertson and Cancelo, really, I think, has been your most attacking defenders offering returns. But apart from those big three, those are the ones that I would go for. In terms of midfield, then, Saka just so important to Arsenal. Nothing else to play for, so absolutely just going out and out for that fourth spot. He's nailed in that Arsenal side, on form. Double game week in 33. I just think he's an obvious choice. Interesting, there is conversation. People shedding and getting rid of Salah. I just wouldn't want to I wouldn't want to go into that game week 31 without him. I can see why people are with those two Manchester City away, Man U at home, possibly tricky games. Then you've got the Merseyside derby, but I would fancy the form that Everton are in, backing Salah to play in that. If you're free hitting in 33 and you've got City in 32, I can see why and what you can do with that money elsewhere. But Watford at home in 31, I don't want to go into that game week without him. He's just the obvious captaincy choice, unless you want to go for a Burnley player who've got 2 games, of course. Cornet, then, he comes out of midfield. He's another one I'll have a conversation with. Just a double-double in 31 and 32 and a good fixture in between in 32. He just got 5 games, decent fixtures. You'd say Man City's a difficult game, West Ham away, but then Everton, Southampton, Norwich, quite like those. It's just his minutes I'd worry about. But just for the fixtures itself, I think I'd have to bring him in. Maddison, what a great free kick he scored. Away at Manchester United, he possibly would be a benching option for me in game week 31. Double in game week 33 looks good. Palace at home, not too bad either. He seems to be on form. A little bit of a worry about rotation, so again, we'll keep an eye on him. And Odegaard, just not really sure. You could go Martinelli. I think as a differential option, possibly I'd go Odegaard. Palace, then you've got the same fixtures, obviously, as Saka in game week 33. I think he's a good option, but I'm not saying set in stone, but possibly Odegaard. Saka, look at that then. 9 goals, 6 assists, really good. 29 points last 5 games. Salah, don't need to talk about him. Cornet, in fairness to him, 6 points in the last 5 games, really poor. 6 goals though, so when he does score, he just deals in goals. XGI is not great either. He's just coming in just because he's got so many fixtures. Again, Maddison looks good. 7 goals, 6 assists. That's really good. 6.7. Remember, he's not a premium player. And then Odegaard, 5.5, hardly worth much at all. 0.36, 5 goals, 3 assists, 18 in the last 5 games. Pretty decent. Then we move into striking positions. Weghorst, I think, I just really like Weghorst. If he gets anything away Man City, he'd be a real bonus. Then at home to Everton, looks good. Away at Norwich, and then Southampton again in West Ham, the double in 33. That looks really appealing. Breuer as well. Double in 33, Leeds away, could be interesting, especially with their injuries racking up constantly. Maybe 32 will be a sort of a benching opportunity for him. But 5.5, what an enabler he is. And then Kane just has to come in, even though they're not doubling. Newcastle, Brentford, Villa away and Brighton at home, those fixtures look too good. So Weghorst, 0.61, really good. 1 goal, 2 assists, hasn't played a lot, 9 points. Again, it's just the fact he's got so many games. Bro has 6 goals, 2 assists, 9 points. Worry is for me as well, there's a bit of rotation, but 5.5, he's just a great enabler. Haven't put Kane's assists on for today, so that would be absolutely 12 goals, 6 assists, and his points would have gone up as well. He just looks on fire. Tottenham seem to be hitting some form as well. He's just got to come in. So the overall picture then, cost of your side, 102.7. There are a few other options you could go for, but at the moment I don't want to go into too much depth. This is just an initial thought. Let me know what you guys think. Are you intending on wildcard? Is there any players that you think I've just got to have in there? At the moment, I think Robertson's a must-have. I do think Pope's a must-have as well. I think and Weghorst as well. If you're not even wildcarding, those could be players that you would potentially think of bringing in. I'm certainly looking at Weghorst. I think Saka's in great form as well. Would you want to go without Salah for that Watford at home game? Obvious captaincy choice. Lots of other options as well, obviously. The one thing I want to bring to your attention is really Reece James. When he's fit and available, he just has to come back into this side for me. Whether it's alongside Rudiger, whether you play him instead of him, I don't know. But you just have to bring him in. So I've got to bear that in the back of my mind at all points. Another point is just Castagna. It feels a bit knee-jerk reaction. But if he's back and fit and playing, he was such a bit of an FPL legend a few years ago. If he's back and playing, he could be a real good differential and a good attacking option for Leicester. The clean sheets are a worry. 5.3 though could be a good option. And then lastly, Kai Havertz as well. It seems like we're putting a lot of emphasis on Chelsea players. If he's playing up front, again, 7.9 for a midfielder playing up front for Chelsea, it just looks too good to be true. So lots of options, he's just 3, and loads of other players that we could be looking at. I hope you found that useful. We will post some more wildcard, updated wildcards later on throughout the next couple of weeks before the deadline. Remember, you might as well hit that wildcard button now if you're committed to doing so. Lock in those prices, protect yourself from those inflation prices, anyone going up. But in the meantime, guys, take care, best of luck. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and notification bell so you know when the next one's coming out. But in the meantime, take care, see you soon.